Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The entire point here is that for 2 weeks, the Premier knew that one of his ministers was actively negotiating for employment. Negotiating or using your position for employment, Mr. Speaker, seems to me to be contrary to the Criminal Code of Canada that says that any member of a legislature shouldn't use their position to seek employment. That's a pretty clear conflict, Mr. Speaker. However, this Premier allowed his minister to retain the title of minister, retain his seat in cabinet the whole time that he was negotiating for a job. There were 2 weeks there where this Premier knew what his minister was doing, explicitly, to the point where he even sent a letter to tell him not to do it. However, this Premier allowed that minister to stay on as minister while he's negotiating for a job. This Premier sanctioned the actions of that member. Will this Premier now accept responsibility for what he's done, accept responsibility for the fact that he allowed this minister to remain in cabinet while he was negotiating with the union?
The Honourable Premier.
Mr. Speaker, I'll be very clear on this issue. When I sat down with a member from Campbellton-Dalhousie, he told me, after we had a discussion regarding if he would run again, and when he indicated that he wouldn't be running again, after that, I indicated that I believe that maybe it would be time to have someone else within cabinet. He said, okay, well, maybe I'll consider another job. So that being said, Mr. Speaker, once again, I wanted to make sure that he would not have these functions, these tasks anymore as Minister of Labour. After 2 weeks later, there was a cabinet shuffle, so he was excluded of the cabinet. And since then, Mr. Speaker, we're making other actions. We agree with the opposition that we need to strengthen the Act, so there are no other situations like that happening again. And we also told, Mr. Speaker, to the member from Campbellton-Dalhousie that we need to make a choice between being a Liberal member here at the legislature or have a job where it seems to be lobbying tasks.